أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره صلوات. The Holy Quran in Surah Al-Zilzal, ayat number 7 and 8 says, whoever has done an atom's weight of good will see it, and whoever has done an atom's weight of evil will also see it. With the barakah of this 7th and 8th ayat of Surah Az-Zilzal, I greet our visiting Imam for Eid prayers, Maulana Anwar Ali, our visiting Islamic scholars, the distinguished Professor Kamanpuri and his illustrious son, Sayyid Ali Hur, our resident alim, Malim Dungarsi, the president of Sydney, Murtaza Bhai Nathani, and his dedicated team, my respected elders, my dear brothers, sisters, and children, Salamun Alaikum and Eidul Mubarak. Mawla Ali alayhi salam also said in his sermon on Eid in Nahjul Balagha, O servants of Allah, verily the minimum reward for those men and women who fasted during this holy month of Ramadan is an angel who calls out to them on the last day of the month, saying, O servants of Allah, rejoice, the glad tidings that all your previous sins have been forgiven. Many people wonder why we celebrate Eid at the end of Maha Ramadan. Are we happy that the month of Ramadan is over? How can we be happy that such a great month of Allah, when we were Allah's guests with all its blessings and mercy, has gone away? The actual reason we celebrate Eid is not because we are glad that the holy month is over, but because we are thankful to Allah for having given us the chance and the strength to carry out His commands in this blessed month. We are happy that we were able to fast and pray in this holy month and have hopefully attained taqwa, which is the goal of fasting. Imam Ali has a very beautiful hadith about Eid in which he says, Eid is for him whose fasts have been accepted by Allah and whose worship has been appreciated by Allah. Every day in which I and you do not disobey Allah is a day of Eid. This hadith is something to think about, as every day in which we do not commit a single sin is actually a day of Eid for us. The Holy Prophet and our Imam celebrated Eid and encouraged all Muslims to do so. They told Muslims to dress in the best of attire and go to the mosque to recite the Eid prayer. They also said we should exchange Eid greetings with each other, visit them, and generally pass the day joyfully. We are supposed to remember the poor by taking out the fitrah before Eid and visiting them and sending them gifts if we can, and visiting sick people in hospital if we can. Remember the feelings of thousands of orphans in Pakistan, Syria, and Iraq today, and let us do whatever we can to make their Eid day as comfortable as possible. Celebrating Eid unites Muslims. As a community, they get closer to work together to make it a memorable occasion. Eid prayers and other programs held to celebrate it allow Muslims to meet and enjoy the company of one another. I had the good fortune this year to be with my community in New York and enjoyed the iftars in the company of Mu'mineen. This community is indeed blessed to have great workers, and like all the previous teams, this dedicated team of the current President Murtaza Bhai Nathani has done a great service to the community by making sure that we have the best of speakers during this time. Indeed, we were inspired by the eloquent and heart-rending discourses delivered by Sayyid Ali Hur, ably assisted and guided by his respected and learned father, Professor Sayyid Qasim Mujtaba Kamanpuri. However, if you ask me in a few days' time, what was the content of the lectures delivered during the last 15 or 16 nights, I would be almost blank. except telling you, oh, the lectures were very good. Wow, majlis alikuwa mzuri sana. Kijana huyu kweli mzuri, number one huyu. But how much do I remember of the actual guidance and very good points he made? He touched on a variety of subjects, including the distinguishing difference of human beings composed of physical body as well as the soul, unlike animals who just have the physical body. He touched on the rights of women, parents, children. He touched on many social ills and anger management, and the climax was last night's lecture on riba. How much damage it does. It dawned on me that these days the format of riba has changed and now it has gone virally electronic. We, and I point out myself first, do it by means of mass emails or on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media. Imagine by this we reach out to millions to spread out the fitna. How can we then seek forgiveness to the masses to whom we have spread out this fitna? Certainly a very difficult task to undo. Let us be careful before we press the send button on our computers, especially so when we do it very innocently, spreading malice and fitna by claiming that we are just forwarding an email as received, or by sending mass emails either as anonymous or pseudonames and sometimes with real names. And we tend to justify this by comforting us that we are spreading the truth. Therefore, it is important we listen to these lectures again and again, and they are available on Sijni website, so that some of the brilliant points he made become a regular practice in our lives. A very important subject he touched on was on forgiveness and Allah's mercy. And he went on to stress that before we have the moral right to ask Allah for forgiveness, we must be prepared and must forgive all our brothers and sisters who have intentionally or unintentionally aggrieved us. If we want Allah to forgive us, we must, by the end of this holy month, have cleared our heart and souls of all malice and grudges, hard feelings against any of our brothers and sisters. Let us resolve to work together in peace and harmony for the pleasure of Allah, for the progress of Islam and our community. In every family, in every company, in every society, in every community, we will have differences of opinion. This is healthy, but these differences of opinions must not become a stalemate towards the progress of Islam and the community. Let us look at various options to take this community further. We definitely do need a center where not only our youths can get together for prayers and ibadat and lectures, but we also do have facilities for recreation, sports, and social to get together for our youths. We need to make our generations much more stronger in their iman and taqwa than we ourselves are. You heard from Maulana Anwar Ali the same thing that I'm trying to reiterate. For this, the communities, madrasas play a very important role. And is those Saturdays enough or is the Sundays enough? You just heard it from Maulana. The World Federation has embarked on the program of Madrasa Center of Excellence, which we in short call the MCE. It has four major streams: the curriculum, the learning resources, training. What happens in most of the Jamaats? Whoever is free volunteers to teach. I may volunteer to teach in my Jamaat, but I do not have the capacity nor the capability of teaching, say, a subject of jealousy to a 6-year-old child or to a 16-year-old child. This program is the anchor of this program is going to be the training of the teachers who are teaching in the madrasa, the recurrent training. And we are going to set up center of excellences in all regions, so we do not have to fly these trainers or assessors from everywhere. We will train them. So far, 110 have been trained throughout 95 madrasas throughout the world. When I was discussing this program with our Marja Taqleed, Ayatullah Al-Uzma Ali Hussain Sistani, he told us that it is very important that the teachers in the madrasa be a perfect role model for our children, not only inside the madrasa, but also outside the madrasa. And for this, the training is going to be very important. The training of the parents who send the students to the madrasa is equally important, because The parents should not think that just by sending the kids to madrasa, they are going to come out complete, God-fearing, God-conscious adults. The parents have an equal, if not more important role to make sure that the atmosphere, the environment at home is complementary to the teachings in the madrasa. Then we have the evaluation and assessment program of the madrasa, which is continuing, and we have had over 20 evaluation and assessments of madrasas worldwide. The final draft of the curriculum is ready, and inshallah it will be distributed before the 15th of next month to the madrasa stakeholders, and will undergo review based on comments of these madrasa teachers. The final one will be ready by end of November. Once this is accepted, then we could work on the final syllabus. The evaluation and assessment has been undertaken in many regions, and as I speak, as I told you, about 110 assessors have been trained. The question that arises is this, and you heard it from Maulana. We have been imparting religious knowledge to our children over the last so many generations. Have the level of vices decreased or increased in our community? Is having Islamic knowledge enough, or with imparting of Islamic knowledge, it is necessary that how do we imbibe or how do we instill God-fearingness or taqwa in these children so that they understand the Islamic knowledge together with taqwa? All of us know that there is imamat, there is qayamat, but how many times has it sunk in our hearts and we remember this all the time? You heard, what connection do we have with our living imam throughout the 24 hours of our life? Because is it enough that somebody who passes the madrasa exams with flying colors, will he also be a good adult in his life? Or is it necessary that we make sure that together with Islamic knowledge, our children also develop taqwa? There's no meter to measure taqwa, is there? So we got to work hard on it. We got to create programs which, together with imparting Islamic knowledge, will also raise the level of their God consciousness. Inshallah, once we have won this battle, and the biggest responsibility which Maulana mentioned was in the upbringing of our children. How did we bring up our children? How did we guide them on the proper path? And that the responsibility falls on the servants of the community and the parents to make sure that we have the best of teachings in the madrasa and the programs which, together with Islamic knowledge, will raise the level of God consciousness in them. Another very powerful message which the senior Professor Kamunpuri gave when he was talking about the Holy Quran, and he talked about the 5 times every day, that 10 times we recite Surah Fatiha, where we are praying to Allah to show us the straight path, and the path on those whom He has bestowed His favors and blessings, and not the path on whom there is His wrath and anger. And he went on to say that Allah then gives the answers in the remainder 113 surahs of the Holy Quran. But me, I do not understand the Arabic language. When I read the Quran or I read the du'as, I do not understand the meaning of it. We are working on a program whereby we can create a community program whereby people of our community, both youths, children, and adults, can take part in that online learning program whereby they can learn the Arabic language to the extent where they are able to understand the salat they pray, the Quran they are reading, and the du'as they are reading. Inshallah, we are trying to work very hard on it, and I hope that before the middle of next year, we'll be ready with this program at the World Federation website. I have already elaborated on the other work undertaken by your servants at World Federation in the Eid message, which is on the website, and I would urge you that when you have the time, do listen to it. Let us pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our amals and ibadat this month and always, to assist us to become a God-conscious community, to hasten the reappearance of our Imam Sahibul Zaman, Ajalullah Farajam, so that this earth may be filled with peace and justice. We received the sad passing away the news of Ma'alim Dr. Mohsin Al-Dina after he had recited Dua Nudba and Dua Faraj, as you heard. He was one of the great teachers in the madrasa. He was one of the teachers who really took so much time to make sure that we have the highest standards of teaching in the madrasa. Let us remember him and all our marhumeens who have passed away during this current year with Surah Fatiha.